Доброго дня, шановні пані та панове, українські
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. UCMC resumes its daily work, and our current topic is kick off the project transformation of the regions through joint smart solutions. And I'm happy to give the floor to Mr. Rostislav Tamanchuk, chairman of the board of Ukrainian Institute for International Politics. The rest of the participants will join us via Zoom. Good afternoon, dear friends. Today we are launching the project, which is a joint project of our Ukrainian Institute for International Politics with jointly with the USAID project, economic support for the Eastern Ukraine. Our project about smart solutions will last during 1 year, and it is devoted to development of the smart specialization sub-project. So we are happy with the initiative which was expressed by Donetsk and Lugansk regions some time ago, some years ago, and this year we have gained support from USAID, and those top priorities which were set by those regions, that is formation of clusters, formation of investment initiatives, launching of startups, which coincide with the top priorities of economic development in this country, that this initiative should be supported. This actually reflects the trend that already exists in the European Union. Now we pay attention to the small and medium-sized businesses. We train participants how to maintain proper dialogue with researchers and scientists, how to stay hand in hand and keep with the state of the art in each sector, how to predict most promising projects or startups for the next 5-10 years, how to raise competitiveness, and how to see the investment component, how to determine it properly in all the subsectors. So today we will have Ms. Daria Skapenka from the Donetsk Oblast, Svetlana Boris from Lugansk Oblast, Halina Vasilchenko, expert of the USAID project, economic support of Eastern Ukraine. Also, we expect to have an expert from the Euro Commission who provided consultancy services to the Donetsk Oblast, Mr. Ramojus Raimaris from Lithuania, who helped to find the top priorities for smart specialization in the regions. So today, the top priorities could be seen at the presentations of both regions. These are top priorities for smart specialization. For the Donetsk region, this will be industrial development with special emphasis on machine building and production of ceramics and clay goods and creative industries. For the Lugansk region, it was farmers production, food production, production and biochemistry. These are top priorities for their development. Objectives of our project were as follows: support new vision of the regional coalition based on the growth of unique opportunities for the region, support coalition of leaders, and stimulate innovations into the regional development, improve the image of both regions, and strengthen NGOs' involvement to this work. That is, we try to bring together key stakeholders, the powers, the authorities, the businesses, and NGOs, that is civil society, trying to explore, to make them aware what is their role in the regional development. This is our calendar plan for this project implementation. First, we will have kickoff meeting, then we will have strategic planning, that is compiling the roadmap, how to move forward together with the military and civil administrations in those pre-border regions. In October, we plan to have the first workshop where we will bring together the representatives of the authorities, businesses, experts, and they will discuss what could be done in those top priority areas, which for each region, which I mentioned at the previous slide. When we shape the vision, how those sectors could develop during the next 5 years, we will launch the subsequent wave of workshops devoted to EDP. EDP means entrepreneurial discovery process, and the specificity of these workshops will be the more narrow circle of experts, and this will be discussions between experts who deal with each specific industry. That is, we will bring together only experts, authorities, and businesses who work in creative industries. Then we will synchronize the outcomes, then compare and discuss the outcomes from each this workshop, and set the top priorities. After the cross-sectoral meetings, we will have a series of focus groups. This will happen in January, during winter 2021, January, February, and March. And those groups will work together and develop the action plan which will be drafted not by the Oblast administration exclusively, but it will be drafted jointly, compiled. That action plan will be formed by the power, the business, and experts. Each participant having its vision will write what they want, with which resources, what resources they can allocate, and what are the deadline for implementation of that action plan measures. Thus, we will see what resources do we already have for implementation of what we would have planned, and what resources we would require additionally. That planning would allow us to see what we need to find, what additional resources we would find. Thus, the experts of economic support of Eastern Ukraine project will be able to see what aspects of this project could be synchronized with that future work which will be done by our work in the Lugansk and Donetsk regions. And the final presentation will happen in June or July 2021, when we separately will have 2 workshops devoted to one region. This is the roadmap for EDP. It contains all that the workshops, the focus groups, preparation of action plan, etc. In result of all that work, the regions will get the documents where they will see the top priorities with the calendar of steps, with the rationale, with detailed description of actions, with the indicators for fulfillment, etc. These are results of our experts' work in the Donetsk and Lugansk region, devoted to the search and selection of top priorities for the regional development. We worked in groups trying to understand how much the old stereotypes about industrial development of the regions coincide with today's reality, whether the businesses are ready to develop the region aiming the development of innovative subsectors of the future. With this, I would like to give the floor to Daria Snopenko, who is deputy head of the economics department of the Donetsk.
Do you hear me? Yes, we hear you. Dear colleagues, it's a pleasure to meet you once again online. And I hope that our search for smart specialization in Donetsk, this movement will be more active, I hope. A lot has been done. I may tell you that before seeing these 2 sectors, we carried out big work. This was done in the framework of the development of the strategy until 2027. We carried out detailed analysis. We had focus groups with business, with scientists, bodies of power, and other stakeholders. about the analysis of economic potential. These are our traditional industries. Maybe they are not interesting for a smart specialization. We are powerful concerning metallurgy and coal production, but these are not smart issues. We started to move forward, and the Ministry of Economy organized an interesting event together with the regions in accordance with the right methodology based on statistics. We calculated indicators, and we came up with the production of special equipment, and then we were speaking about ceramics and products from ceramics, and then, after we started to discuss all those issues, a new surprising decision appeared. These are creative industries. This was a challenge from the participants of the process. These are not figures. This is what was felt, but not figures. So we have a powerful IT. We have good IT cluster, powerful centers in the north and in the south of the oblast. We tried to create a separate area concerning IT. And we have Ramois today with us, and we came to Kiev, and we met with the bodies, met with the representatives of power and with the representatives of academia, and for 1.5 days we've discussed the results, and then Ramois advised to prioritize more in the framework of these directions, and we hope we will be able to find unique opportunities, smart opportunities. And I said that Donetsk region is production region, and Donetsk is also creative, and this will be, and we discussed this, we revealed these factors. What was surprising for us are some through directions. This is really important for us in order to focus on green technology, because if we are speaking about request from society, the issue of environment is really important for Donetsk Oblast, and alternative energy and green circular business is really important, and we hope that it will be reflected. We are preparing for the start of the project. We hope that the representatives of the Institute, and we've discussed this, we've launched online invitation to this process, to EDP process. We've developed a small questionnaire, and we identified the fields, and we invited all who are interested to join the process. Unfortunately, there is no such big activity in this, but some people just do not understand financial benefits. But there are many people who are ready to join, and these people will work with us throughout the year as it is proposed in accordance with your roadmap. So we are waiting for you. We see that there is support, and we hope that the result will be an active document that will be not only a part of the strategy, but the document that will be really implemented and will help our economy to move forward. Thank you very much, Daria. Thank you for telling us how it all started. And we thank Ramois to join us. Now I would like to give the floor to Svetlana Boris, the representative of Lugansk Oblast administration, and I hope that Svetlana is online with us. Yes. Do you hear me? We will have Q&A session at the end. Do you hear me, Svetlana? I will turn on the video. I'm really glad to see you all remotely. And I greet everyone who is present at this event. What I want to say, last year and this year, a lot has been done. And the Ministry of Economy helped us in this a lot with their methodological and statistical materials we've worked with to find those areas that are priority for us, both economically and innovatively. This support, this help by the Institute for International Politics and those events that you've held really helped us. It helped us to identify those areas. They are traditional for us in this current environment. This is chemical industry and agriculture. Half of Oblast is agricultural region. Based on the analysis we carried out and taking into account the current situation, we established two priorities. As Rostislav mentioned, chemical and biochemical industry. We believe it will combine with the production of agricultural produce, and there will be a powerful support for our agriculture component. So we identified these areas for ourselves, and this is the most difficult stage, this process of EDP. And we should find those stakeholders, those interested people who are really interested in the development of industries and their enterprises, and they're interested in the development of Oblast on the whole. We are working on this now. We are working by phone because of the quarantine and all these limitations imposed on our today's life. We have some agreements, we have some interested people. I hope that they will be actively working concerning EDP. I believe that in the future, we will discuss this roadmap with them, and we will work in this direction. Thank you. Thank you very much, Svetlana. I know that also we have the promotion department that are connected with us today, and I hope that this EDP process, it is not easy, despite whether it is Lugansk Oblast or other oblasts. Sometimes there are concerns that people won't agree. People should understand where they are moving. They should find common ground. So I also hope that EDP process will be efficient and we will come up with the priorities concerning smart specialization. Thank you, Svetlana. Stay with us.
Stay with us, Svetlana. I hope that we will have either questions or comments at the end of our session. And with this, I would like to give the floor to Alina Vasilchenko, expert of strategic planning from USAID Project Economic Support to Eastern Ukraine. I'm happy to see familiar faces here, and welcome the Ukrainian Institute for International Politics and the session devoted to smart specialization. I am representing the project Economic Support to Eastern Ukraine of the USAID in Ukraine. Why we are supporting this project and why we put so much expectations on it. We believe that if we wish to change the perception of Eastern Ukraine, we have to find new points of growth, and these new points of growth could be found due to the new projects, which would be based and should be based on on those resources which are already available in our regions. We are familiar with the strategy for the Donetsk region. We are familiar with the strategy for the Lugansk region development, and dealing with economic issues, we should keep in mind that the economics actually studies how to use limited resources better and create the wealth and improve well-being of people with those limited resources which are available. We cannot expect for resources to appear from nowhere. We should think how deploy, how to use those resources which are available to gain benefits for everybody. Here, much would depend on the selection of people who would be participants of those groups. It's easy to draft a plan on paper, to invent something on paper, but that would never be implemented unless it will have the devoted and committed partisans, devoted and committed people willing to implement all that items of action plans, etc. This component is an important aspect for the growth of the regions. We are happy that both Donetsk and Lugansk regions are capable to do smart specialization, because despite the fact that a lot of the regions started these discussions about smart specialization, but not all the regions have this opportunity. I believe that Donetsk and Lugansk regions have good resources to do this. That's why I encourage people in the Donetsk and Lugansk regions, representatives of authorities, businesses, and experts not to waste this unique opportunity, not to waste this chance to create good preconditions for growth, to reach new level and reach new horizons for the Eastern Ukraine. So I wish big success to all of us. Thank you, Galina, for your key messages. I think that you reflected the most important tasks which face our regions. With this, I will shift to Russian to communicate with our expert from Lithuania and invite Mr. Ramojus Raimeris from Lithuania, who is an expert from Lithuania who supported Donetsk region in drafting their smart specialization. Ramojus will speak in English, but you can listen in him in Ukrainian translation. Samuels will speak in English, but
Yes.
you can.
Hi, can you hear me?
In him in Ukrainian translation.
All right, it's very nice to see you all. It's really nice to see you, Rostislav, Daria. Nice to see you. So, all right, I think that it's very important that we come back again to the topics of smart specialization, because the trend is still ongoing everywhere in Europe. Most of the European countries, they are developing the second wave of their smart specialization strategies. So I think that the concept is here to stay, at least for another 7 years. And Ukraine, particularly those regions who are now developing the smart specialization strategies, they are in a very good position to be aligned, to be harmonized, to try to also achieve something that's been done, practiced in other European countries. You can learn from our mistakes. You can make your strategies more resilient, better, and find the most proper alignment of the strength that every region has. And probably it's already too late to talk about smart specialization, what it's all about. But I think that it's important for us to remember that we have to make choices. We have to make choices about the public funds, how we are spending public funds. With some luck, sometimes we can make not just spending, but investment, which is a much more reasonable way to spend public funding. And as I mentioned, all regions and countries have been doing that. But the question always was, do we have a mechanism? Do we have a good, transparent, logic mechanism how to make those choices? And that's why we have smart specialization strategies. That's why we have the process of entrepreneurial discovery process has been presented by Rostislav. That is the core of the strategies of this mechanism, how we will make those choices. So I think it's very important for us to feel, to connect and understand that we're talking about future investments, and it is easy to find a way to those investments. Of course, all regions in every country, probably, we are striving for science-business collaboration. We're striving for higher value added. We want more innovation within our economy and governmental sector and all the possible activities. And that's why smart specialization makes priorities. That's why it engages a broad variety of actors to make this achievement possible. I still remember that a little bit less than a year ago, we had some workshops in Kiev with Donetsk Oblast. And that was a very interesting experience for me, because I learned a lot about the region. I found a very good working administration. I found this collaboration between, or at least a wish from science sector to make them visible and make them active in the economic outcomes of the region. The scientific sector, they proposed a lot of actually projects, a lot of suggestions. I think that some of them probably made to a draft that we produced. I also remember that initial analysis of the region showed that possible specialization areas, still broad, but possible specialization areas could be manufacturing of machinery and manufacturing of ceramics. And then after the session, that was an open discussion, but again, we try to stay based on the data. We found, we discussed the challenges of the region, and the challenges of the region, actually, it was not just economical challenges. It was wounds of war, it was immigration, it was low entrepreneurial culture, it was roads and corruption, but probably that's not the part of smart specialization to solve. So, and we also thought that it would be maybe not really, it would be rather limited to focus only on manufacturing part of the region, that the region can offer for its stakeholders. So we thought that maybe Creative Donetsk could be also added to Manufacturing Donetsk, that could really strive to engage creative persons to use the information technologies, to think about ecology and green energy, to make the region more creative, business more creative society, address the social innovation topics. And well, that was really interesting discussion and really interesting construct that we came about. So I hope that in the further process, this concept will find its way, because having the recent history of the Donetsk region, to make it as expose it as a resilient and creative region that will find its way, would be a very interesting case for many other regions outside Ukraine and outside Eastern European countries as well. So I'm really looking forward for further actions. I want to wish good luck with that. And I also would like to remind that the designing of the strategy, the EDP process, is just one part. Another part is implementation. And I know that Ukraine has already, the regions of Ukraine has already adopted their regional strategies, which smart specialization is addressed as a priority. But I do not know how much devotion and how much attention is given to that. Because if we have a good design, if we have a good priorities, we have the engagement, but after that we do not have resources, or we do not have other political support for what's been drafted, then, well, it's only half of the goal achieved. I really hope that both sides of the coin will be as one in this case. So really great to see you again, and thank you for opportunity to remember all this and share it with you. Good luck.
Дякую велике, Ремоюс.
Thank you, Ramos. Thank you, dear colleagues. Дякую, Daria. Дякую, Svetlana, Halina, and Ramos. Perhaps you have some final comments or questions or recommendations. In parallel, I am checking whether we have any questions in the chat. May I add? I would like to add a comment. We understand this big responsibility. We understand how the process, how complicated is the process. Nevertheless, we keep in mind those people who are ready to invest their effort into the process, and we hope also and expect that in the process, when we launch the work, more and more people will join us, seeing our devotion and commitment. And we fully understand the complexity and difficulty of the process, how difficult it is to organize discussion and reach consensus. But the consensus really is a big value, because it offers and brings a resource which would allow us to implement the strategy reached with consensus. Thank you, Daria. Dear colleagues, are you willing to add something or not?
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Thank you for these questions that you've raised. We have broadcasting through several channels. Also, we have Facebook page of the Institute for International Politics. So we will read some questions. Why Donbas rejected the priority of a production industry for smart specialization? I believe this is issue. This question is to representatives of Donetsk and Lugansk Oblast. May I answer? If you remember, the first block, the first direction we are planning to move in is directly production. And we do not reject this machine building, ceramics. This was reflected during the analysis. Two of these fields have shown the biggest economic concentration. and sufficient level of production of national products that are provided by these fields. So EDP is maybe to show something new, some new areas of activity should be visible. And of course, production is the main priority for our oblast. About energy, I would like to add 1 second, please. One question about energy component, energy field, alternative green energy. This is the very important issue, and we have it in our plans. We will work on this. And EDP exists for searching for different interesting areas. I would like to add that we should not forget that economy is really complex. Energy sector, this is natural monopolies, and it is difficult to deal with them at the regional level. They are dealt with at the national level. These issues need political will and financial resources. That's why Oblast should not deal only with these issues. It is difficult to resolve these issues at an oblast level. So economic issues that have better chances for EDP, they may reveal, they may show, even at the national level, the necessity to resolve these energy problems. If we're speaking about alternative energy, circular economy was mentioned by my colleague, and this includes energy component, this full cycle of production, and also we should remember about processing, about waste management, and the cost of energy, of green energy, sometimes even much higher than non-alternative energy. That's why these issues should be first resolved at the national level. I would like to add. So about our priorities, we also consider bioenergy. So we will work with energy sector issues. I believe that it may be considered in our smart specialization as well. It may be a part of smart specialization. This should be a part, not the whole, because you cannot deal with the issues you are not capable of dealing. You should take care of those parts you are capable of doing something about it. About support of smart specializations in other oblasts. So as of today, you know that last year some new documents were adopted concerning smart specialization. Now this process has broadened, and this issue is mentioned in the strategy of the regional development, and it will be in the plan of actions, and the Ministry of Economy now is working on the methodology to form National Coordination Center in order to help oblasts to develop smart specialization. And Galina mentioned this clearly, that today we have about 10 oblasts that are ready to work on smart specialization. But one thing is speaking, and another issue to go along this way to adopt the roadmap, to start the work with different stakeholders, to build trust among different stakeholders in different fields. For many years, they haven't communicated and they worked separately and were trying to find some solutions. So these processes, they start in different oblasts: in Lviv Oblast, Ternopil, Kharkiv Oblast, Kherson, not Kherson, but Khmelnytska Oblast, Rivenska, and Odessa Oblast also had some ideas. Vinnytska Oblast is ready to move. Zakarpatska Oblast, they also have shown their interest. So the matter is, this is not about the wish of administrations. This is about real implementation of the process. So I'm really glad that we have cooperation with the USAID, and that we value the support of the European Commission. And also we are really thankful to our colleagues from Donetsk and Lugansk Oblast. They show their leadership on this, and they show that they make some steps to implement. And we will be glad to work with other oblasts, and we are communicating through Facebook, and we follow the developments in other oblasts. We have 3 minutes, maybe one more question. No, maybe not. Dear colleagues, if you have the wish to say several words, I will be glad. If not, we will end our press conference. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to see you all. It is really a pleasure to hear these proposals, and we hope that we will be able to do this work. I would like to say only one thing. I wish I all success in this difficult work, and let's communicate and till the first results, till the next results, actually. Thank you very much, Daria. Thank you, Svetlana, Galina, and we thank a lot our colleague from Lithuania, Ramoyus, for his support and for the work that has been carried out during the previous stages. Thank you very much. Till the next